I was robbed in Barcelona, and I'm about to tell you guys how. Hey you guys, what's up you guys? It's your girl Jasmine Travels. Welcome back to my channel. So today's gonna be a bit different for me. I'll probably get more into doing these type of videos, but this will be my first time doing like a sit down story time with you guys. So I'm gonna be telling you guys about the time that I got robbed in Barcelona. So if you guys have watched my last video, my most recent upload, then you will see that I went to Barcelona, Spain. And I was super excited about that because I finally got to do some traveling outside of Andalusia, the south of Spain. And Barcelona is like one of the big cities here, so I really wanted to go see it because I've never been. So I definitely was making my way up to Barcelona before my time winded down here, because you guys know, like, I'm not staying here forever. So I really wanted to make my way up there. So we finally did. I got to go for like 3 days, because I left super early the last day. And it was great, it was amazing. Like, as you can see in the video, the whole entire trip was like stuff to do, and I didn't even get to see everything that we had planned to see. So I have to go back, but it's not about that. This is about how I got robbed and why I've been slightly MIA on like Instagram and posting. And as you guys can see in my video, I had like a week off in between my uploads. Like, it's a lot. When you get robbed, it's a lot. Like, or when your stuff gets stolen or anything, like, it's just a lot. So basically, this is what happened. On our second day there, we went to the beach because we wanted to see the sunrise. So we went to the beach at like a crazy time, and I didn't think of it as a big deal. I went to go put my stuff down in our hostel that we were staying at, and I forgot that in my bag, in the front pouch, I had my passport in there. So I took all my stuff out, like my camera, my charger. I didn't need that. Like, stuff that I took during the day that I didn't need just to go to the beach, I was taking it out of my bag, and I only had my bag and like my wallet. And of course I had my phone, because you carry your phone pretty much everywhere. I want to take pictures on my phone because I didn't have my camera. But I left my passport in the front of my bag. Okay, so then we get to the beach and we're chilling, hanging out, having a good time, and I have my bag strapped around me the whole time. Like, let me give you a visual example. So I have a crossbody bag. Basically, it's like this bag a bit, you know, and you just wear it around you, and it's just a crossbody. Like, it goes around your head and over here. This is adjusted really tight, so I'm not even gonna really get into that bag. Basically, that's what I had. And on the beach, I had that around me until I went in the water, because I did go in the water. So I wanted to go in for a little bit. So I took my bag off along with other clothing, like my jacket, my shoes, stuff like that. Of course, you take the stuff off when you go in the water. And I went in the water for a bit. That's not where the person took my bag, okay? My bag was safe with everyone else's stuff. We left it over there. People were next to my bag. We didn't all go in the water at the same time. Like, we weren't out here just being like completely careless. It's just that, I don't know, like, Barcelona's just like a place known for this. Like, they've just gotten really good at it, I guess. I don't know, but that's not where they took my bag. It's not because we were just being careless and left it there. Like, no. I went in the water, I came back, and all my things were still there. My bag was still with my jacket, it was still with my shoes, and it was with my friend's bag. It was with all of our stuff, all of our shoes. It was with all of our stuff still. But when I sat back down, how I showed you guys, I had a crossbody bag. I didn't put my bag back on, but I also didn't put my shoes back on. I also didn't put my jacket back on. I didn't put the stuff back on because I just came out of the water. I'm just chilling, hanging out, sitting on the sand, you know? Like, so I didn't put all this stuff back on, and I'm thinking like, it's fine. Didn't think it'd be a big deal. So we're just hanging out, waiting for the sun to rise, having a good time. The sun starts to rise, and we're like, oh, let's take pictures. And then I turned to grab my bag to get my phone, because before I went in the water, I put my phone in the bag. So I was looking for my bag to grab my phone, and I was like,
you guys, where's my phone? Where's my bag? Where's my stuff?
Like, it wasn't even all my stuff, it was just my bag gone. And then they were just like, what do you mean? It's right there with our stuff, because My friend's bag was still there, all of our shoes were still there, our jacket's still there. So it's like, what do you mean? It's with the rest of the stuff. And I'm like,
no, it's not.
I'm like, throwing everything, looking, I'm like, my stuff's not here. And I'm just freaking out. So basically, how I got robbed was one moment when we weren't paying attention, because we never left our stuff. Keep that in mind, we didn't leave our things. So one moment we weren't paying attention, or like it was less of us there, because we all didn't sit together the whole time. It was like 5 of us. So 3 would wander, 2 would stay, 2 would wander, 3 would stay. It would just be whatever. So one moment when we weren't paying attention, someone just came up, grabbed my bag, and took off running. And we didn't even notice until it was time for me to be like, oh, let me take a picture of the sunrise. So it was really lame, because I was really enjoying myself, and then the next thing you know, it's like, boom, all your stuff is gone. And like I said, you guys, I forgot my passport was in the front, so I'm over here like, I lost my phone and my wallet, blah, 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 and then it's like, you lost your passport too. So it was just absolutely horrible. It was horrible. I literally went through so many emotions. I was just like, from when I found out, I was like, hey, where's my phone? Where's my bag? And I'm like, oh guys, it's not funny, where's my bag? And it's like, no, for real, like seriously, where's my bag? And it's just like, where is my bag? And then it's just like, ah! And it's just breaking down over my material things. And it's not even like it's super bad because I'm just losing my material things. It's the inconvenience of really losing your stuff while you're in a foreign city, while you're in a foreign country. Like that is makes it so much worse. Like if I were to lose my wallet in the US, it's like, okay, inconvenient, but I can literally go get a new temporary debit card tomorrow. I can go get a new license in a minute. I can go get whatever I need. You're at home. But here, with me losing my things, it's a whole nother ball game. Like I said, my passport's in there. At that point, how do you go home? You know, you have to get a passport while you're in this country so you can have your passport to fly to another country. So I needed it to go home. So it was just the inconvenience of it all. Was just so much like, so yeah, had my freak out, was going nuts. We were on the beach, we were looking for it. Of course, we're not gonna freaking find it. I'm trying to find my iPhone, and find my iPhone's not that great when the person who took your phone cuts it off. And I wish Apple had a way to like not do that. Like you should have to like put your password in order to cut the phone off or something. Like that would be amazing, except for the emergency option. Like that can stay normal, it doesn't need a password for that. But like to cut off the phone, it would be nice if it had a password, because as soon as I cut the phone off, I can't get to it or find my iPhone. So pretty much my phone's a lost cause. And I was hoping that they just took the phone in the cash. I had like 10 euros in cash, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But like, I was hoping they took the phone, took the cash, and like threw the bag to the side. So we were looking around hoping they just threw the bag, but they didn't throw it anywhere nearby. I don't know what they did with it, but we didn't find it at all. And I was hoping I just could get my passport back, because like I said, I'm over here like, oh my gosh, like all my stuff's in there. Like at least I can find my wallet. And then I'm like, oh my God, my passport's in there. Hopefully I can find my passport. So yeah, we didn't find the bag. We didn't find anything. So it sucks. That really sucked. But there's ways to fix everything. So we eventually made our way over to the police station. We walked over there and we went to go talk to them. And I was at this point like so exhausted, so upset, so over it. Like I was just like, I'm just ready to go. And they weren't being that nice in the police station. Like we went in there trying to tell them like my stuff was stolen. They're just like, that's very normal. And we're just like, okay, but is there something we could do about it? Like we can't just leave here with nothing. Like we need something. And they're just like, yeah. One of the guys was like, we can get you a police report or whatever. Luckily I was there with my friend. He did all the talking in Spanish and everything, because my Spanish isn't that great, you guys, if you guys don't know. So he really took care of like all the talking, and they gave me the forms to fill out to get a police report. And I'm really glad that he was there and I didn't try to do that on my own, because I probably would have ended up leaving without even getting a passport, when the first time they were just like, that's really common. And I'm just like, okay, well, you're not gonna help me. And then I probably would have had like left without knowing what to say or what to do. So we ended up getting me a police report, and I ended up using that for everything. We came back the next day and we asked them if they found anything or if anyone turned in any bags, because while we were in the police station doing my police report, like 2 people had came in and stolen, like dropped bags. So we were like, okay, we'll come back tomorrow and see if someone turns in my bag. But when we came back, they were being pretty mean. So they're just like, We were like, hey, did anyone return in any bags like in the past 24 hours or anything like that? They're like, no. And then we're like, are you sure? Like, no one's turned in anything, not a wallet, not a passport, not a bag. They're just like, no one turned in anything, which I really didn't like, because we knew from us being in there within that 24 hours that someone, like 2 people came in and turned in bags, and 1 person came and turned in a phone, and they didn't even offer to let us look at those bags, even though it was the whole next day and it wasn't even the same person working. So how would they know? Like, unless someone came and collected those bags and they didn't have any more. But it's like, I don't know, they're just really not nice about it. Like, it's whatever. That's neither here nor there, because can't do anything about that. So on a positive note, we did get the police report, and then I was able to use that to fly back, because I used my passport to fly to Barcelona, because that's like my formal identification here, and I had to use my police report in a photocopy that I had on my that I printed at our hostel. They were so nice, freaking love the hostel, that I printed at the hostel to go with it, and I showed that to the people for the airlines, and I was able to fly back. It only worked because it was a returning flight. If it wasn't a returning flight, they were like, yeah, you're not able to fly, you're not able to use anything. So I'm glad that worked out and I was able to get back, because with me coming back, because it was a weekend, so like the consulate or the embassy, like none of that stuff was open, so I had to wait for the weekday, and I didn't have any more money because they took all my stuff. I didn't have access to my bank account, I didn't have access to anything, so I needed to come back. So basically, with me being here, I was able to go to the consulate here in Seville, talk to a whole lot of people, and now that it's been a little while, I've managed to come out with an emergency passport. So I don't know if you guys have ever lost your things in a foreign country, but if you have and you lose your passport, the thing that you're gonna need to get is an emergency passport. Basically, the whole process is the same thing as applying for a passport, but it's rushed. It's not permanent, it's temporary, it's good for a year, and then when you go home, you can turn in the emergency passport along with like an application for a new passport, and then get a new one, in like a regular one, in the mail. So that's what I had to do. I had to fill out documentation to report my passport stolen, and I had to fill out documentation for a new passport. So it came in the mail. I'm gonna show you guys. So this is the emergency passport. It's like, basically it looks just like a regular passport, but it's super thin. Like, it's max 10 pages. Like, in your picture page, it looks a little different. Like in the actual passport, it looks like laminated, real fancy. But this one just looks like if you get a temporary license and it's paper, it looks more paper. So I would show you guys, but I did just get my life robbed from me. I don't need my identity stolen too. But it looks like a regular passport for the most part. I think it's missing like a little symbol at the bottom, but that's about it. And then it's just super thin. It's only like 10 pages in here for you to use, and it's only good for a year. And you know, most countries, or not most, but a lot of countries you fly to like you to have like a certain amount of time on, like, before your passport expires. So it wouldn't be good to use for most travel. I'm gonna use it to get home, and then I'm gonna have to turn this in, and then the application for a full passport. So the best thing about the emergency passport though is when you do get home and you apply for the permanent or your normal passport, not the temporary one, you don't have to pay again. So I paid one application fee for the passport, as well as a new picture, as well as everything, and you paid all that. But when you turn this in to get another one, you don't have to pay again. They give you a letter, and you turn the letter in along with your application and this, and then they send it to your house or your permanent address. You don't have to pay again, which I was like, okay, great, because this was an expense I was not expecting to pay. And yeah, for the most part, I called my banks and for the cards I was missing. I wasn't missing all my cards. I didn't take everything I owned, but I did have my cards that I was using at the time, and I got that one replaced. For my US account, I got that one replaced. But my one for my Spanish account, I still do not have access to, and it's been a while. So I don't know what to do with that one. I've tried everything, but since it's online banking, it doesn't have any branches. It's really hard to communicate with them. They don't have a phone number you can call, and it's just not been the best experience going through that with them. So I still don't have access to that, all the money in the account. Like, I can't make any transfers. I can't do anything because they're not making it easy for me. Like, I don't have the card, and then the way that they verify that it's used by pairing your phone to an account, and the phone got stolen. So I don't have the card, I don't have the phone. And they're like, well, we can't verify who you are. And I'm like, well, I have a passport, I have to verify my identity. And they said they can't accept this one because it's a temporary passport. So the only option they're really giving me is to wait until I get my new permanent passport, which will take who knows how long, because when you apply for a passport, it takes a couple weeks to come in the mail. So I don't know what's up with that. So I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, I would suggest if you're gonna get a bank, either in Spain, and to avoid being stuck in this situation, either one, take pictures of your debit card, or like have the debit card number like recorded somewhere that you can like refer to. And then they have like a extra code on the card that they're asking for, not the code on the back, but like they have like a token number, they call it, and they keep asking for that token number that's on the card, which I've never had to deal with any bank before. So it was new for me, so I didn't know I needed to keep that number like handy. But I wish they would have told me, because I would have, but now I know. My advice for you if you're gonna go with this bank is to, one, take pictures of the card to just in case something happens and you need to refer to them and you don't have the card. Or two, just go with a bank that has branches, because it's a lot easier to fix your problems in an emergency situation, because they're not that great in emergencies. But the bank I had is called N26. I love them otherwise, but when it comes to emergencies and talking to someone, they're not the best for that situation, because there's no number to call. You cannot call them. They only have a chat service, and there's no way to really fix your issues when you're in an emergency like this. Like, you can't even do something like transfer funds when you log. I can log into my online banking, but I have access to do nothing. I have access to do nothing. So I can't transfer money to someone else. I can't withdraw anything. I can't deposit anything. I can't do anything because I don't have my paired device because it got stolen. So, and I want to just be like, you live and you learn, but the only thing I really learned from this is that people suck and you can't trust any situation. It's just like, basically keep your stuff like inside you, like keep your bag like in your shirt or something. Like, don't take your passport to the beach. But of course, those aren't really lessons to learn. Like, that's already a given. It's just people make mistakes in these situations like I'm in. You can't really come back for it. So in the comments, don't bash me being like, you're stupid for losing your stuff. Like, no, people make mistakes. I forgot my passport was in my bag. If my phone and my wallet was stolen, that'd be easy to come back from. This is the biggest thing, but I've dealt with it. I've paid for it. I don't need people telling me like I don't need to be blamed for what happened to me. Don't blame me like I'm out here just being completely ridiculous. Like I said, I never left my bag unattended. I never did anything like that. They just came and literally took it while we were there, but not looking directly at the bag. Like, if you're out having a good time, you're not gonna be able to pay attention to every little detail that happens. So I'm not gonna blame someone for getting robbed, so don't blame me in the comments. But that's all for this story. I hope that if the story wasn't at least entertaining for you, that you've learned something that could help you if you're traveling, and know that there is a way to come back from these things even when you feel like there isn't. Because for a while, I was out here panicking, and there's always a way to get out of these things. Material things can be replaced. Try not to think about it too much. I'm still trying not to think about it too much, and everything's gonna be fine, always. But with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, comment nice things. Help me lift my mood since I was robbed and I am trying to overcome these emotional times. And subscribe to my channel to hear more. If you want any advice or want to hear more about something, let me know, and I'd be glad to answer any questions. As always, thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye guys.